Hi, I'm Elsa. There you go. I am the library and media instructor for Natomas Charter School in Sacramento, and I'm also one of the reps for the California School Library Association Northern Region Section 2. I'm here to help you go through the library survey that's put out by the California Department of Ed every year to try and assess the state of the school libraries across California. It is very important to do that, even though it might feel a little long at times. It is really important to help the Department of Ed to see how dire the situation is really for school libraries so that they can do something about it. So I am already on the website. This is the link that hopefully you already have. And if we scroll down a bit, it is a little bit wordy at the beginning, though it does give you some information about what they're going to be asking. So I have done the survey several years now, but if this is your first time, I do recommend that you go through and read through this information here, especially this part. At one point, they will ask the age of your collection, the copyright date of a certain section of the nonfiction collection. And it might feel a little, whoa, I don't know how to do that. They do give you instructions, and they have some links here for Alexandria, depending which version you have, or Destiny. I have Destiny. I'm more than happy to also help you with that if you need help. Just email me and we'll talk and I will help you. If we scroll pretty much all the way down, you have the start survey here. So we'll click that. If you do not know your CDS code, we're going to look through by county and stuff. So I'm in Sacramento County. My district is Natomas Unified, and my school is Natomas Charter. And the password for the library is at your library, all one word. The Y for your and the L for library are capitalized. Everything else is not. And we'll log in. What? There we go. I messed up. Forgotten the letter. So I've already completed the survey. I can edit it or print it for my records. I'm going to edit it right now so that I can walk you through it. All right. Did you have a dedicated common area in your school designated as the library in the 2016-2017 academic year? And so you can see it here at the top. This is for 16-17, not for 17-18. Obviously, we're still in it, but so you have to think back one school year. And you choose what corresponds. And sorry, next. Shareways. Ooh, I skipped one. No. Weird. It went to question 1, from question 1 to question 4. Anyways, share ways in which your school library supported students in preparing them for college and career readiness. They do give you some ideas, some suggestions. You can, of course, you should add any that you did in your school. We had a partnership with our local public library. Yes, no, explain what. Do you have at least one paid, credentialed staff working in the school library? So this is a big one, but is that person paid? So not a volunteer, and are they credentialed with the state? Do you have at least one paid classified employee working in the school library? So obviously now it's going to open up a little bit more. Again, not a volunteer, but not someone with credentials, but someone who works there. What level of training did the classified library staff possess and or receive? Select all that apply. You've got the check boxes here. I think it's pretty easy. Please enter the total number of weekly hours worked for all paid staff assigned to this single school library. This is very important if you are trying to report for several schools, a school district, a county. You'll have to do this survey for every single school, which can be daunting again. If you have a staff development opportunity and the library staff can come together for half an hour, if you prep it and then they bring the information like the copyright date and stuff like that that we're going to see later. If they bring all that information with them to that meeting, then it's going to take very little time to actually go through the survey. And you can all do it together. It's a little nicer. But for that particular one single school library that you're reporting for, the weekly hours work for all paid staff. You have the credential staff, the library staff, paraprofessionals, clerks, etc., assistants. How many different school libraries did the certificate staff serve in 1617? So if you have someone who is full-time but maybe split onto different sites, that's where it would go. You would do 2 sites, 2 schools. How many different school libraries did the classified staff serve? Same thing. Now we're talking about schedule. What's the regular school hours that the library was open, staffed, and open, right? So you would put the schedule there. How many hours total was the school library open per week? Within these hours, how many hours was the library flexibly scheduled per typical school week? That's a big one. Elementary schools, school libraries usually are not flex, they are on a fixed schedule. But if the library is open before school or after school or during lunch, a little bit for the students to come on their own instead of coming with their class, that's where those hours would go. When was your school library facility typically open for student use? Select all that applies, pretty easy. Which of the following terms best describe the schedule for your school library? Fixed, flexible, mixed, or you don't see any classes at all? About how many school days per school year was the library closed for testing or other use not related to library? That will be a big one. Usually the libraries are a big testing place, but if there were meetings, trainings, etc., that took place during school hours and the library is closed for students, you need to count those as well. How many times a week did you go to classrooms to work with students and teachers? How many times a week? And it might be a little flexible if you go to the same classroom but several times a week. I would think that you count every single visit once. But let's promote collaboration here a little bit. The library's physical space, yes, no answers, so it should be fairly easy. Library's virtual presence. You have an automated catalog, Destiny, Alexandria, or other catalog like this. A library website, etc. Automated library circulation. Again, Destiny, Alexandria will count. Textbook circulation, and all of these, they're yes/no questions. They should be fairly easy. Computers/tablet devices. How many computers are in and available in the school library for instruction or student use during library hours? So how many particular computers, single computers do you have? Did your school issue every student a laptop or tablet? Are you a one-on-one school or not? Considering the school district's filtering software, were students able to access and utilize web-based productivity or collaboration tools via the school network? Um, More than likely you are yes with limited access because there are some filtering. So they should be able to access wikis and etc., Google Docs, etc., but they cannot access absolutely everything on the net. If your school is compliant with federal laws, you probably will do that middle one. Did your school library provide ebook readers or portable devices for students to check out? Do you circulate Kindles and Nooks and or iPads or anything like this? That's pretty much what they're asking. When were students allowed to bring their computers or devices? Check all that apply. Enter the number of print books in your collection last or 16-17 year. Enter the number of ebooks purchased for the library that year. And it's for the library, right? Not for curriculum purposes. Enter the number of print subscriptions to magazines and newspapers. They do say print, so if you're in, if you subscribe to magazines or newspapers online, that would not count. Did you check out audio materials, CDs, audiobooks, and then were they in for in-house use only? So do you allow students to get an audiobook, but they can only listen to it in the library or in school, but not take it home? And did you check out video materials, VHS or DVDs? And same thing for in-house circulation. All right, this is where that question can be a little intimidating. The age of the collection. Enter the average copyright date of the books in the library's 629 section. Include books in the 629 circulating section, the reference, and the digital titles, all for the 629 section. So print, reference, and print that circulate the reference that do not, probably, as well as your digital titles if you have any. This is where you would go to Destiny, Alexandria, or whatever your system is, and get that information. You might have to do a little bit of math. It should be fairly easy. Basically, you get all the titles that are in the 629 sections. You get the copyright date for each one. You add them all and you divide by the number of items that you added. So if I have 20 books and I add all the copyright dates for those 20 books, and then that number I divide by 20. For me, I would get 2007. But this is basically how it's done. Again, if you have Destiny, I'm more than happy to help you. If you have Alexandria or another system, well, Alexandria, we saw at the beginning of the survey that they have links to help you with that. If you have another system and you have trouble with it, again, let me know. I'll try to help you somehow. I will try. What's the name of the most recent US president who had a whole book on him in the library collection? And so they do say who had a whole book on him. I have several books about presidents that include President Trump, but I do not have a whole book on President Trump yet. So I have to put Barack Obama. Did your library offer access to any online subscription information databases for students in the 2016-17 school year? It's a yes/no question. Should be fairly easy. Do note that it does not include the databases offered by the local public library or search engines. It's databases that you pay to have access to. 2016-17 budget. And then that was in general. And then how much money was spent for the purchase of library materials other than books. Periodicals, technology, media resources, related equipment do not include certain things here, so do take note of that. Here, my budget is really small because actually we have a great IT department who takes care of a lot of things for me. So this is where you have to think about who pays for what. Is it the library, or is it IT, or does it come from another budget? It does not come from my budget, so that's why that amount is fairly low here. Check one or more of the following funds used to purchase library materials. If you do not know, you can ask maybe someone at the business office or your principal, etc. They should help you out with that. Was your library program written into your LCAP? And is funding tied to your LCAP? Did your school have a library advisory committee? Yes, no question. You see that a lot of it is yes, no question, so it does go quickly, though there are a certain number of questions. Did the library staff serve on the school site council, school board meetings and such? Did you have a library policy or procedure manual, collection development, policies, and things like that? When was the last time library staff job descriptions were updated and approved? Actually, I just did it this year, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit because this is for that year. But I want to let them know now it's been done. They were overdue. How often did the library staff in your district meet for planning and professional development? That should be fairly easy as well. All right, now here you have drop-down menus. These questions ask about general services and basic instruction that might be performed by any and all library staff, regardless of credential or title. So if you're lucky to have a credentialed and a certificated, classified, staff at one site, you need to think about what they both do and how often they do it. So you would go through all of that, selecting what's appropriate. What types of activities occurred during a typical class visit? That's easy. What was the average number of classes who visited the library in a typical week? And how long they last? These questions are intended to gain an accurate picture of what level of services are being provided. Report how often you are engaged in various teaching activities. They do link the standards here, so you can always here command. I'm on a Mac. Oh no, that's not the right link. But that's okay because you can always search for them, and they come up. This is the first link. It's a PDF. So you can always take a look at it. But again, this is a drop-down menu of how often you or the staff, library staff, do these particular tasks. Library classes were taught while classroom teachers had planning time. That's often for library staff who are parts of the specials schedule, and so they are on a rotation. Um, so is the teacher still in the library helping and with the students, or are they out and planning for other uh, for their classes? And then, if yes, please explain what you did while while the teacher is doing their planning. How did you implement the model school library standards? I was called upon to lead and or provide professional development. And then if yes, you explain how. And then some information here about you, and then you click, oops, next, and submit. Okay. So that's it. So easy. It does take a while, especially the first time. It gets faster and faster every year. Again, it helps the Department of Education a lot. We need more people to respond every year to this survey. We do not have a great response rate, so we need to improve that. So please make sure to send the survey and help another, and send the link and help another school library staff in your area as well. Make it a party of it. Come all together, like I said, at a staff development meeting, or maybe even if it's just one day after school or on a Saturday, and make it a fun thing to do together. But it is very important to do it. Um, the Department of Education will thank you. Again, my name is Elsa. I'm at Natomas Charter School in Sacramento, and if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.